Good morning, thriving warriors. Alexa, what's the date? Alexa, what is the date?
It's Tuesday, December 27th.
And Alexa, what time is it?
It's 6:19 a.m.
And finally, Alexa, what's the weather?
In Amargosa Valley, it's 43 degrees Fahrenheit with cloudy skies. Today, you can look for lots of clouds with a high of 57 degrees and a low of 40 degrees.
Okay, good. So here we are 1 minute in. We've got that information of where we are, what time it is. Good morning, Diana. Charlene is on her way to City Impact, perhaps with Lamont, her Tuesday helper, who's out there working like a Hebrew slave. Good system. Here we are trying. Our goal is to help you get from point A to point B, where B is better. One day we're going to have a little graphic that says A and B, and I'm going to go wing, like a news weatherman. So from point A to point B, where B is better. You're at point A, you want to get to point B, B is better. And we're here to help you do that at Career Services. How do we do that? Well, through a series of daily breadcrumbs, bleep, 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 starting with this video. But there's more down below in the description. Please subscribe, share with your friends, give a thumbs up. In the description down below, we have several more breadcrumbs. First, the breadcrumb to our 4-week basic training course, the neuroscience-oriented approach to success. We have a link to the motivational video, which I watch every day to prepare for this, starting at 4:20 in the morning. Not really, at least as to me, but yes to the 4:20 in the morning, starting at that time in the morning. As I prepare, we have links to information from Jordan Peterson, Inc. magazine. Today, there's a great ebook, How to Manage Your Day. And also there is something from Jordan Peterson on his Mondays of Meeting. We have a link to our Bible studies course. We have information, breadcrumbs, bleep, 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 to other services we provide: housing, clothing, food, hygiene, transportation, skills training, foundational employment, and career planning. Available to you. You just have to ask. We can't and don't try to read people's minds. And we have a breadcrumb to actually the transcript of Seth Godin's daily blog. So those are 8 or perhaps 9 breadcrumbs along the way. Next breadcrumb at 3:16 in. John 3:16 in is, let's see, our theme of these podcasts. The title of the podcast is It's Simple, ... breadcrumb, breadcrumb, breadcrumb. It's simple, change, grow, never give up. You want to get from point A to point B, you need to change, you need to grow, you need to never give up. So we're about to really get started. That was the intro. Make sure you have your giant cup of coffee or your tiny cup of coffee. Have that with you, pen, paper, when you can, not if you're driving like Charlene is today. Have your pen available, paper, write things down. You need to remember it. One way to remember things is to write them down, because every time you see it, say it, hear it, think about it, you make another copy in your brain. And our brain is designed to get rid of information. We lose about 75% of new things we learn each day. That's just a rough thing to illustrate. Most of the stuff we learn every day, most of the new information we acquire every day, we discard. It doesn't go into our long-term memory. Why? Because our brain decides it's not necessary. So how do we move information from our working memory or things we learned today into long-term memory? Well, kind of have to force it in there. Repetition is one way to do it, making additional copies in your brain. pen, writing things down simply makes about 5 copies in your brain because you have to think about what you're going to write it, check to make sure you wrote it, etc. Very important. I don't want to belabor that point. Okay. Today's, I forgot to mention another breadcrumb below is the link to the TED Talk that goes along with where we are in our 4-week basic training course. So this is week 4, day 2, in our thing of leadership. We call it leadership. It's actually power, getting other people to do what you want. And in this case, what we're trying to do is not crash the car on our way to Successville, because we now know how to drive the car. We've got the car filled with people who are going to help us get to Successville. We need to just not crash the car, not change course, just keep on the path to Successville, and we will get there. So there's a thing of what we will encounter: crisis, leadership, everything's going to hell in a handbag, to pure leadership. I can do anything I want. I'm the master of the universe. Anything I want, bam, I can have. And we're going to end up Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, focusing on practical leadership. Yesterday was crisis with Nancy Kane, her breadcrumbs. Today is pure leadership, stoicism, and Marcus Aurelius, as taught by Michael Sugra. Great 45 minutes course. So altogether, if you do this on a daily basis, it's going to take about 2, maybe 3 hours to do this. But hey, if it gets you an extra $2,000 a year, is it worth it to invest a couple hours a day in yourself? Especially when we consider that the average American wastes about 4 hours a day watching TV or internet stuff. So that's where we are, 7:05 in. Let's see, what does Seth Godin have to say? Oh, before that, some memes from today's video, a motivational video, which we want you to attract. When you work, work. Don't try to not work when you work. When you work, work. Set lofty goals. Get to the position where you or somebody says to you, how are you going to do it? You have to make the decision to do it. In other words, from a neuroscience perspective, program the RAM, or program the RAS, or better, prime the RAS. This is important. Prime your RAS so that anything comes up regarding that, you'll get a hit. Boom, it'll come to your consciousness. So first, you have to make a decision to do it. What do you want to do? Think, envision it, okay, and then you have to have the will to do it. You have to decide, I am going to do this. All right. Another little note, received some text messages, emails, LinkedIn from one of our former students back in 2015, Monica, who's doing very well as a department lead for IATSE. I think that's how it's pronounced. The people behind the entertainment industry, the people doing the sets, making sure it happens. I will hopefully be interviewing Monica next week, maybe this week. We're trying to arrange that with her schedule. So that's really cool. So we'll have it on video. So a new one. Let's see. Seth Godin, scale and the small business. Freelancer grid. Okay, so if you're a freelancer, meaning you work for time or projects, you're not an employee, somebody pays you to do a job. Okay, so you have to picture a grid, and there's 4 corners. So this corner up here, and it's labeled this way: small business, large business, small, large. And then on the horizontal axis, it's seeking unique qualities or understanding undifferentiated commodities, okay? So doing something special, or just run-of-the-mill stuff. So it's important, not important, large, small. Where do you want to be? So if you're over here, if you're over here, large, undifferentiated, industry giants is who you're going to work for. Over here, large, you're going to work for rare birds. So large scale, rare birds that want unique stuff. Large companies, industrial giants want mediocre stuff. Down here, small. Over on this side, you have sweet spot. So this is small companies that want something really cool. Over here, small companies that want to act like they're big companies. They're a waste of time. So you don't want to be down here in this grid. Small business, waste of time. Maybe you want to be large business, undifferentiated stuff. Maybe you want to do that. But what you don't want to do is down here. Maybe you want to do this if you want to do mediocre stuff. This over here is a sweet spot, small companies that want unique things. This over here are large companies that want unique things, and they're very rare. Okay, the industrial giants want tonnage. These people over here, undifferentiated commodity goods, regularly delivered, consistent work for hire. They're not going out of their way for freelancers that are bespoke, artisanal, or even better. They simply want to meet spec at the best price. They can keep you very busy, and they might even pay on time. Okay, so you want to work for a large company that's mediocre stuff. There are a few rare birds. Those are the ones over here. Large potential clients that want freelancers who will give them something unique and hard to replicate. They know what they want is scarce and pay appropriately. Not many of them out there. If you find one, treasure them. This leaves us with the last two categories. This is the small and mediocre. By far the most common is the waste of time. These small businesses that want or pretend to be industrial giants, but simply want commodity pricing in small volume with lots of last minute changes. Obviously, the smart freelancer avoids these folks no matter how well-meaning they are. Okay, small, but want to act like they're big. This leads to the sweet spot, the client who wants you with all your uniqueness, pricing, and magic. The one who pays a lot and gets more than they paid for. They will be easier to find if you look for them, and especially if you're actually offering unique magic. Cool. Okay, so that's Seth Godin. That applies to you regarding where you want to have a job. You want to go work for a large company that wants just mediocre people who are good enough to do the job. Okay, great. Don't expect a lot. You want to work for a small company that wants to act like a big company? Waste of time. No, footnote. Small company that wants to pay you and get more than they pay, that's the sweet spot. Large company that wants unique people, that's the rare birds. It's probably like Apple was. Okay, moving right along. And I notice it is 6:33. We are 14 minutes into it. Diana, okay, last set of breadcrumbs. How do we get from point A to point B? We need to push ourselves up the hill. Bingo, bango, bongo. Act such that yesterday was the only easy day. So we can embrace the suck. How do we do that? Well, we can embrace the suck, get comfortable being uncomfortable, compare ourselves today to who we were yesterday, just do a check. Are we getting better? We can do that. We can be more samurai, karate chop chop. Be more samurai, karate chop chop. Think of your life as a table, what you're building. The life that you're building is like a table that's resting on four legs, a four-legged table. And each leg is labeled. Each leg is labeled. One leg is physical. Work on your physical self, your fitness and health. Get physically fit, eat healthy food, act in a healthy manner. Smoking, bad for you. Smoking, bad smoking. Nothing redeeming about it. It's a weakness. It's a way to make us feel good because we're not feeling good otherwise. So if you feel the need to smoke, something isn't right. You need an outside artificial thing to do that. Okay, anyways, physical, mental, always need to be learning. The world is changing. If you go back and look at, do a Google search, life in the year 2012, see how different it was. See how different life was. Look at the apps on your phone that were available at that time. Very, very different. Think of, well, where is it going to be 10 years from now? Do I want to be ready for where life is going to be 10 years from now? Because if I'm ready for it, I'm going to be ahead of everybody else who's just pulled along, goes along with the current. Okay, that's the two legs of the table. Third leg, emotional. If you can't control your emotions, don't worry, someone else will, and they'll probably take you out of the game. Just as Bo has been taken out of the game because he couldn't control his emotions. He decided, okay, screw you, asshole. You can't control my life. You can't help. You can't make my life better. I'm not going to let you do that. Boom. I'd rather be homeless. I'd rather be in survival mode. And we will find him yet again in the future, no different than he was in the past. Whereas Monica, getting her master's degree, employed, I guess had a lot of dental work, which she's very proud of, moving forward. But we'll find out more about that later. That's three legs of the tail. Fourth leg is spiritual, that which picks you up when you know, the best spiritual thing is Christianity in this country right now, today. Wouldn't it be good to be a Christian in in the Middle East? Probably not a good thing. A lot of torment, anguish, pain, short brevity of life, etc. Not really good to be Christian in some places of the world, but in this place in the world, the thing to be is Christian. And to advocate that for other people, not because you want to be saved. That's the easy part. Getting saved is the easy part, but because you want to help other people. You want to have a life of meaning and purpose. Okay, we're at 18 in, way too long. And Diana, I need you to say cut and cut. That's why we're still doing it. Okay, finally, thank you, Diana, and cut, end.